Hello everyone. We appreciate your participation in today's webinar. My name is Devdatta Dey, and I'll be hosting this wonderful session on machine learning. This webinar is presented to you by Codersarts. We are an edtech company based in Noida. Uh, that aims to we aim to help students achieve their academic goals through a range of services. We offer programming assignment help, live one-on-one mentorship, training courses, job support, project-based mentorship, and more. Uh, about the certificate, so I would like to mention one more thing. We will be providing the certificate. So at the end of this webinar, you have to fill up a Google form in order to receive the certificates. So now moving on to the content of the webinar. So I've already acquainted you about Codersarts and what we actually do. Next, we will be learning about what is machine learning. Then we will be learning about significance of machine learning. We will also be learning about prerequisites of machine learning and how to get started with machine learning. At the end, we will be having a Q&A session. So whatever questions, whatever doubts you have, you may post them into the chat box. We will also be talking about the hurdles that you may face while learning machine learning. So now, without further ado, let's proceed to the main event. Today we have Ms. Pratibha Sabharwal with us, who will be giving you an overview of what machine learning actually is and how you can build your career as a data scientist. Pratibha ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Devdatta. Hello, everyone. I'm Pratibha, and I'm a machine learning developer at Codersarts. And today I'll be talking about the topic machine learning, its importance, and how you can get started with it. So today we are constantly hearing terms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and analytics, and so on. We can say that they are the buzzwords these days. On a surface level, these concepts seem very exciting and very easy. To an extent, they actually are. Like, they are exciting for sure. But we are all actively using applications which involve the use of machine learning as well. Moreover, even in movies, artificial intelligence is being showcased quite often these days, which has us all captivated and wondering at the marvel of technology. But if I were to ask you what machine learning is, how would you define it? Now, I'm sure many of you here present here are ML enthusiasts, and you would be having an inkling about the definition. But for those who are completely beginners and are looking forward to get acquainted with this field, I would like to define it myself. So machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence that focuses on developing algorithms that enable machines and computers to make predictions and decisions without being explicitly programmed. So it involves algorithms and statistical models that enable systems to improve their accuracy in predicting outcomes without being explicitly programmed. That is the main theme of machine learning. That is, we are just trying to teach machines to think like humans without supervising them. Like, we don't need to give them inputs or examples each and every time. Just as we teach a human, we are trying to teach machines as well. So it should be noted that there are two essential components to machine learning. The first one is the data. It is often said that a model is as good as the data which is subjected to it, because the data is consisting of the records and history of the users. And as we all know, today's world is highly digitized, and there's a lot of data being generated from user history, user browsing history. Whenever you're searching internet or you are watching movies, surfing YouTube, all that data is being stored by the companies and they are analyzing it. So data holds the key. If the data is much closer to the reality, the outcome, like the predictions, are also going to be very closer to reality as well, and it helps to make accurate predictions in reliable time. So data is one of the most essential component to machine learning, after which it is the algorithms. So algorithms are used to analyze and identify patterns in the data. And based on the type of data, actually the algorithms are selected, because there is a wide range of algorithms that are available in machine learning. The process of learning through data is achieved through algorithms that analyze and identify patterns in the data. That allows the system to make decisions based on those patterns. The choice of algorithm makes a huge difference in making predictions. For example, if the data is linear, we choose certain type of algorithms, and if the data is having a lot of groups in it, that is, there is no linear relationship in the data and the outcome, then we choose certain different kinds of algorithms that we will be talking about later on in this webinar. So we are now familiar with machine learning at the surface level, although we can talk about it at length, and this time may not be sufficient to discuss about this. But since the webinar is being focused for the beginners, we'll just move on to our next topic, which is the types of machine learning. So machine learning algorithms can be divided into three categories, namely supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced. In supervised machine learning, which is the most prevalent type, the data is labeled and it tells the machine exactly what patterns it should look for. Think of it as a recipe following which one can create delicious dish. Okay, so algorithms that come under this type of algorithm are regression and classification. So supervised learning, regression and classification are there. Then comes unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, the data has no labels. That is, there is no help given to the machine at the time of training. The machine looks for whatever patterns it can find. This is like trying to replicate a dish without having its recipe. That is, trying to recreate a dish that you liked at some restaurant using your general understanding of the ingredients to replicate it as closely as you can. So the unsupervised ML algorithms that come under this category are clustering and dimensionality reduction. We have discussed supervised and unsupervised learning. Now we will come to reinforced learning. So in reinforcement learning, an agent learns by trial and error to achieve a clear objective. So in this case, by agent, we refer to machine or the robots, because reinforcement learning is that branch of ML which is more inclined towards training robots in achieving their tasks. Okay, so the agent tries out lots of different things and is rewarded or penalized depending on whether its behavior helps or hinders it from achieving its objective. So you can think of it like giving and withholding treats when teaching a dog a new trick. So the same way we are trying to teach machines as well. The machine is rewarded if it is doing what it is supposed to do. But if it is not doing what it was programmed to do, then the scoring is reducted or some kind of punishment is given to the machine. So in that case, the machine strives to make more and more positive impact, and like it wants a positive feedback. So this is how reinforcement learning work, and this is the gist of reinforcement learning. Some example algorithms that come under reinforcement learning are policy, state value functions, and temporal difference. Now, we won't be going further ahead into reinforcement learning, because as I told you, it is a completely different branch of ML, and it is a topic for a later day. Now we will just focus on supervised and unsupervised learning. So I will now briefly discuss the common algorithms that come under supervised and unsupervised learning. The first one is regression. So regression analysis is a statistical method to model the relationship between a dependent and an independent variable or variables. So by dependent, we mean the target or the outcome that we are looking for. And the independent variables means the features and the attributes that are present to us in the data. In a regression, it is highly suitable that the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable should be of linear nature. By this, we mean that if the independent is showing some kind of growth, then the outcome should also grow in the same ratio. Else, vice versa, if the independent is showing some kind of loss and downward movement, then the same should be expected of the outcome as well. So that is what we mean by a linear relationship. Now, what the machines are trying to do is it is trying to map the relationship between the independent and dependent variable in regression. And this is how regression analysis helps us to understand the dependent, like how the dependent variable is changing corresponding to the independent variable when some values are kept fixed. Okay. So we will now come to the use cases of regression. As you can see on your screens, the two use cases are predicting house prices and forecasting electricity consumption. Now, in predicting house prices, this is a classic regression problem where you use data on house features like square footage, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, location, etc. to predict the sales price of a house. You can use linear regression or decision tree regressors or different kind of regression algorithms to build your model. In forecasting electricity consumption, you use the historical data on the electricity consumption along with the weather data and other factors to forecast future electricity consumption. This can help electricity companies, to plan for future demands and avoid shortages. So that is one of the some of the use cases of regression. We will now move on to classification. So in machine learning, classification refers to modeling problem where a class label is predicted for a given example of input data. So this is another supervised machine learning. From a modeling perspective, classification requires a training data set with many examples of inputs and outputs from which to learn. Since output examples are also provided to the machine at the time of learning, this algorithm falls under the category of supervised learning. So, you should pay attention to this fact that both in regression and classification, the data along with some suitable examples of the outcome is provided to the machine at the time of training, and the machine just simply tries to map the examples of input data to the specific class labels. That's why the training data set must be sufficiently representative of the problem and have many examples of each class label. And it is believed that the examples of each class label should be equal in the number. That is, the data should be balanced. So this again emphasizes the importance of data in the development of of a machine learning model. Now we will discuss some use cases of classification as well. So again, some use cases of classification are email spam classification and sentiment analysis. So in email spam classification, this project involves building a model that can classify emails as either spam or not spam. So you can use text data and natural language processing techniques to extract features and train a model to classify them. Now, natural language processing technique is also a different branch of machine learning altogether, which we will be discussing later on in our webinars. But for the sake of brief introduction, natural language processing deals with analyzing textual data. So this way, we can use classification to classify whether an email is spam or ham. And you may have seen it in Gmail as well. Like some of the emails that you get are automatically classified as spams, right? So that is being done using machine learning only. Then we come to the part of sentiment analysis. Okay. So in this project, you can analyze text data again, such as customer reviews or social media posts to classify sentiment as positive, negative, or neutral. So this can be a useful tool for businesses to gauge customer satisfaction and improve their products or services. So these were the brief introduction to classification and regression. So did this explanation of classification sound very similar to the explanation of regression? Apparently, they are similar in a way that they are both trying to map the independent variables to the dependent variables and are trying to learn the patterns involving both these variables, like the independent one and the target one, so that the machine learns how to read the independent data and to predict the target data when it is not given. So that is the eventual goal of all the machine learning models. But They are different in the sense that regression is suited to linear data, whereas classification is suitable for categorical data. So that is data having several groups in it. So categorical data is a data where there is a number of groups. Let's say, for example, there is this attribute in the data named as shape, but shape can have different values. It can have a value like a circle, square, triangle. So these three values, we cannot say that this is a numerical value. Okay, so there is no doubt that we cannot have a linear relationship with this kind of data. So this kind of data is called categorical data, and classification is most suitable model and algorithm when we have this kind of data with us as input. So as I described it earlier as well, that data is very essential, and based on data itself, the nature of the data, we choose the type of algorithm that we will use to train our model. Apart from this, there is now we come to the unsupervised learning. So the algorithm that comes, the most common algorithm that comes under unsupervised learning is clustering. So clustering or cluster analysis is a machine learning technique which groups the unlabeled data set. It can be defined as a way of grouping the data into different clusters consisting of similar data points. So the object with the possible similarities remain in a group that has less or no similarity with another group. It is just like when you are teaching a child to segregate different shapes into different clusters. So the same kind of thing is being used with cluster analysis as well. What the machine learning, the clustering model, what it does is it finds similar patterns in the unlabeled data set, such as shape, size, color, behavior, etc., and divides them as per the presence and absence of those similar patterns. Okay, so it should be noted that in clustering, we are using unlabeled data, which means that we are not giving some previous examples to the machine to learn and like to try to find the patterns and map the independent variable to the target variable. In this case, we are only supplying the independent variables to the machine learning model. So that is why it is an unsupervised learning method, because no supervision is being provided to the model, right? So hence no supervision is providing to the algorithm. It deals with the unlabeled data set. After applying this clustering technique, each cluster or group is provided with a cluster ID in machine learning, which starts from 0 to the number of classes which are identified by the clustering mechanism in the machine learning model itself. Okay, so now we come to the use cases of clustering as well. So the two most common use cases are document clustering and customer segmentation. So in document clustering, in this kind of project, you can group similar documents together based on their content using techniques such as text mining and again natural language processing, because it deals with textual data. And this can be helpful for applications such as search engines or content recommendation systems. Let's say you have a lot of documents on newspapers, cuttings, and they are all like corresponding to different categories like technology, science, entertainment, and like you have a large number of such cuttings with you. Okay, I'm just giving a hypothetical example here, and the number is so large that manually it will take you days to sort it out. But with the use of machine learning algorithms, like if you have this data in digital manner as well, then it will take you seconds to cluster the documents according to their categories by just using the clustering machine learning models. Okay, so that is the benefit of machine learning. Then in customer segmentation, using customer data such as demographics and purchase histories and their behavior, you can group customers into clusters based on their similarities. So this can help business to tailor their marketing strategies and improving customer segmentation and customer engagement. And you can see it happening in your day-to-day lives as well. Like whenever you speak about any purchasing anything, you must have seen some ads keep popping up whenever you are searching your internet or whenever you are using your mobile phone and going to visit some websites. So all these things are being done by using clustering techniques only. Like they just hear you speak about it or write about it, like all your data is being collected, right? And then you are just being segmented, and based based on your purchase history and behavior, you are being recommended things that you don't even need, but you feel like you need it when they pop up, right? So that is also magic of machine learning, which is being utilized by businesses these days. So that was all about the introduction to machine learning and its type that we were to discuss in this webinar. Now that we are familiar with this topic, we can move forward to the discussing the significance of ML. So machine learning algorithms are like used for data-driven decision making. So it enables organizations to make more informed decisions by processing large amounts of data and uncovering patterns and insights that data might not be immediately apparent. So basically, as I do give you an example of in clustering as well, like if you have a large number of data or documents that you need to process, then obviously it will take you a lot of time, and not just like a textual data. Even if you have some kind of numerical data, and these days like the data is in terabytes, okay, and like it is not humanly possible to analyze it and see a trend on it manually. So it becomes very cumbersome and time taking manually. So this is where machine learning is being used. Like we are teaching the machines to learn and think like humans, and they are very fast and reliable, and they also don't make like error. Like only error that can be introduced in there is by us humans only. So they are very reliable and accurate, and they provide like very useful and efficient insights to the data, and that is why it is helping the businesses as well. So data driven decision making is one of the benefits of ML. The next benefit is automation of tasks. Again, there are some mundane tasks that you don't need to spend your time on, but you have to, like content creating summaries of meetings, like long meetings, and you just need to make some minutes out of it. Then that is also a very inconvenient task for people, because the task takes a lot of time, and if they were not a bit of concern for people, then they could have focused on something much more efficient and like beneficial things to them, right? So machine learning algorithms can automate tasks that were previously performed by humans, freeing up time and resources for more strategic activities. So this is also one of the significance of ML. The next significance is improved predictions and recommendations. Again, machine learning algorithms can be trained to make predictions and provide recommendations based on the patterns in data, leading to improved decision making and increased efficiency. So this is the benefit of ML, and we have discussed it quite a lot of time throughout the length of this webinar as well. So moving on to the next significance, advancements in healthcare and finance. So machine learning algorithms have been used to develop new and improved treatments in healthcare as well, and to improve financial decision making, fraud detection, and risk management. These days, just by analyzing the CT scans, MRI scans, we can detect tumors with the help of machine learning models, and very accurately. And these days, with the advent of technology, machine learning is being used to even like conduct operations as well, like surgical operations as well. So machines are guided by like the technical machines. The tools are also guided by machine learning algorithms only to perform such kind of surgeries as well. And then in a financial sector as well, stock market prediction is one of the most common area where machine learning is being used. After that, there is this fraud detection. By just analyzing the outliers in the data, the machine learning models are able to fairly accurately predict the fraud detections as well. Okay, so this is also one of the sectors where machine learning is gaining its strength these days. Moving on to the next benefit, personalization. Again, machine learning algorithms can be used to personalize experience for individual users based on their search history and their behavior, as we have discussed. So personalized recommendations and advertisements and content, you are also being suggested, like if you like this article, then you must be like interested in so and so articles as well. So this is also being identified by using machine learning. Like there are some algorithms where like there's terms like cosine similarity is being used to find similar looking content as well, which you must have clicked or you must have spent some time reading. So using this, personalized recommendations are also provided to you. Moving on to the last significance of ML, which we'll be discussing here, is the efficient resource utilization. So, machine learning algorithms can be used to automate and improve customer services by providing quick and accurate responses to customer inquiries and support as well. And machine learning algorithms can be used to optimize the allocation of resources. Okay, so optimization is one of the area where machine learning is finding its use. So resources are being allocated, such as energy, water, and transportation, leading to increased efficiency and sustainability. So machine learning has found its footing in nearly every domain that there is, and it is a fast and rapidly growing field. And that is why like most of you who have joined here are very interested in building your career in here. So this is the significance of ML. Now that we know that how important ML is and how integrated it is in our day-to-day life, and it is only going to grow from this point on, right? So it is going to be entangled in our lives so much that we won't be able to survive without it. Like these days, we cannot even survive without our phones and computers. So the same thing is going to happen with ML as well, because it is just here to aid us in all work that we were doing previously. But the only difference is that we will be able to do it really fast in time and very accurately. So now the question arises, like how to get started with machine learning, since you all are a beginner. So there are some pointers that you should follow to begin your studies in machine learning. So the first one is learn the basics of mathematics and statistics. So whoever is telling you that you don't need to learn mathematics, or no, you don't need to have in-depth knowledge of mathematical concepts, then that is quite misleading. Okay, machine learning is heavily based on mathematics and statistics, and so it's important to have a solid understanding of these concepts. Topics you should focus on include linear algebra, calculus, probability, and statistics. Statistics being one of the most important part apart from probability. Okay, so these two things you should focus on in mathematics. And see, there are two ways to approach learning machine learning. There are various tools in which you don't actually need to do anything, and you don't need to understand the background of things as well. You just need to, have an understanding of what the end result that you are getting, and you will be fine with that. But like if you are really into learning the hows and whys of machine learning, then learning and having grasp on mathematical concepts is very necessary. So this is the first thing, that you should learn the basics of mathematics and statistics. Once you are done with that, you need to get familiar with programming. So like once you have the understanding of mathematical concepts and statistical methods involved in machine learning, then programming is the tool. Like your choice of programming language will be the tool by which you can realize those algorithms and get some kind of output. Okay, so ML requires a solid foundation in programming as well. So it's important to be comfortable with a programming language such as Python or R. These days, Python have a lot of libraries which are aiding in the process of machine learning, and there are quite active communities which are developing the libraries as well. So Python is being more popular these days in case of machine learning, but R is more of a scientific use. Okay, so like if you are from a scientific background and you want to do some research and some kind those kind of things, then you should choose R. So again, some people keep saying that you don't need to have a knowledge of programming languages if you want to build your career in machine learning. Then that is also very misleading, because mathematics and programming are two very essential and very important part of machine learning. Then again, there are two ways to approach machine learning, as I discussed in the first point as well. So depending on like your choice, you can like choose to follow each of the like any of the approaches, but I would suggest that you should start from very basic, and you should have all the clear concepts in machine learning, even if later on you are just using tools that can do it for you, but still you should have an understanding of what is happening at the background as well. The next thing that you should do is choose a machine learning platform. So there are several platforms for machine learning, including TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, Scikit-learn. So you should choose one that you feel comfortable with and start exploring its features and capabilities, because these like frameworks and like platforms are very extensive. They have their own syntax and own functionalities, and checking out all of them one by one will take a lot of time. So you just need to focus at one platform at one time, and once you are confident with that platform, you can move on to the next one. So you should look into these platforms, and just based on your interest, you should choose any and start learning it. Okay. So the next point is study machine learning concepts. So even like when you have learned about mathematical concept and statistics, then also like that is purely mathematical. But how you are going to utilize that in machine learning is completely another thing. So there are various concepts in machine learning as well, such as supervised and unsupervised learning. You should understand the difference between them, and you should familiarize yourself with concepts such as overfitting, underfitting, bias, variance, and regularization and stuff. So these are particular terminologies which are being used in machine learning throughout and in each branch actually. Even if you are going for deep learning, and even if you are just doing machine learning, overfitting and underfitting are the things that are bound to happen with the model. So you should understand all these things and how you can prevent them and all these stuff. So that comes by studying machine learning concepts. Okay. So moving on to the next point, you should practice coding. So just learning is not enough, because you see there is so many development that keeps happening with the technologies, and practice makes a man perfect, we all know. So you should keep practicing coding, and you should not stop. Like once you start, just it's a lifelong learning process, and you can't stop practicing your code. Okay, because as much as you would practice, your code will be more efficient and strong, and more fast as well. Like you learn things that you won't if you are not practicing coding. Okay, so start working on small projects to gain hands-on experience with coding and implementing machine learning algorithms. Participate in online competitions such as Kaggle to apply your skills to real-world problems. So that is what is actually going to make you an expert in this field. So a lot of practice is required. So the next point is keep learning. Yeah. So like whatever you are learning, you like, even if it is not machine learning, if it is some other field as well, you should never stop learning. Like there are so many development. ML is a rapidly evolving field, so it's important to keep up with the latest developments and trends. And you should read research papers, attend workshops and webinars, conferences, and like join online communities to stay informed. You should stay informed, because these days ML is growing so rapidly that there is a tremendous amount of change happening. So like it's impossible to know everything in ML. So you just choose one particular topic at a time and gain your expertise in it, and then you move on to the next. So you just keep learning. Okay, so by following these steps that we have discussed, you will have a solid foundation in machine learning and be well on your way to becoming an expert in the field. So we have discussed like how you can get started with machine learning. If we talk about resources, or if you are looking for some books to help you get started with machine learning, then here are some of the best ones. Okay. So the first one is An Introduction to Statistical Learning by Gareth James and others. So this book provides a gentle introduction to machine learning concepts and focusing on the statistical aspects of the field. So if you want to get acquainted with statistics for machine learning, so you should refer to this book. Now these the recommendations that I'll be giving are for beginners only, right? So at beginner level, you can refer to this book. The next book is Pattern Recognition and Machine Learning by Christopher Bishop. So this book provides a comprehensive overview of machine learning concepts, including both supervised and unsupervised learning. So in unsupervised learning and supervised learning also, there are a lot of things that needs to be discussed and you should know when you are beginning with machine learning. So you can refer to this book. This is a very nice book. Then comes hands-on machine learning with scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow by Aurelian Guerin, right? So this book provides a hand-on introduction to machine learning using the popular Python libraries like scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow, as it is mentioned in the name. So if you want to get started with one of these platforms, as I have discussed, like you need to choose one platform, then you can definitely go with this book. If you are an ML enthusiast, you must have heard about O'Reilly Productions and its books. Like they are quite famous in the realm of machine learning. So you can refer to this book for hands-on experience. You can just follow from it. The next book is Machine Learning for Dummies by John Paul Mueller and Luca Massaron. So this is a beginner-friendly guide to machine learning, which provides a gentle introduction to the field and its application. So this is specifically designed for beginners like you, and I think that you should give it a go. Like you should just read it once while starting your journey in machine learning. Okay, and the next book is Deep Learning by Ian Goodfellow and others. Then now this is a book for deep learning, and we have not discussed it so far, but deep learning is also a subfield in AI and machine learning. And like once you are done with your like all the other books that I've suggested, like even if you are done with one and you want to move on to something else and you want to have that extra edge as well, so you can just go with deep learning as well. Like this book provides an in-depth overview of deep learning. Okay, so overview is there and you can familiarize yourself with deep learning concepts as well, including the theories and algorithms behind it are also given there, like all the theories that leads up to the deep learning and the algorithms that are involved there as well. So you can draw a comparison between machine learning and deep learning, and whatever interests you, you can like further choose your journey from there, that point on, right? So today we discussed what is machine learning, what were its types, and also for each types we discussed the different number of algorithms that there are, like the most common ones and their use cases. After that, we discussed like why machine learning is so important these days, and what is we can also by like talking about that, we can gain an insight key. Okay, it's going to be rapidly growing, and it's going to be a very important part of our lives as well. So yeah, ML is a very significant field that is growing these days, and there may come a time when like we have machines for a companion, right, as it is shown in movies as well. Then we discussed about like how we can get started with machine learning, like all the points like mathematics and programming, and keep practicing and all these things. That is very important if you want to build a solid career in machine learning. Okay, so apart from that, I also suggested you some books. So this was all for today's webinar, and I'll be handing over the control to Devdatta again. Okay, so I hope that it was very informational for you, and I hope that it may do you some good. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha ma'am, for this wonderful session. So now we will be moving on to the hurdles that you may encounter while you learn machine learning. So the first hurdle that you may encounter is limited interaction with instructors. Since AI and machine learning have only gained popularity recently, it's pretty recent. So there are very few colleges or offline institutions which offer extensive courses on the subject. Most of the courses are available on online platform with the advent of digitization. Okay, so what happens? This leads to the most common problem of not getting enough time to interact with the instructors. Students are not able to clear their doubts and have a brainstorming session with the instructors, which kind of hinders the process of learning. The second hurdle that you may face is lack of hands-on experience. So most of the online courses are in the form of videos, or in most of the cases they are pre-recorded videos. Okay, so you don't actually have an interaction with the instructors. Okay, since most of the videos are pre-recorded. Now these classes, they mainly discuss on the theory, or they pay very less attention to the hands-on experience. Okay, and it is quite often left to the students to practice on their own with very minimal instructions. The third hurdle that you may face is difficulty interpreting complex algorithms. So, as discussed before by Pratibha ma'am, mathematics and programming are very crucial to machine learning, and there are many concepts that involve complex mathematics, which is quite difficult for beginners who are new to machine learning. So, if they are left on their own, then it might create problem for the beginners. And the last hurdle that I'll be discussing is difficulty in adapting to new technology. So, people who are looking to change their field of career to data science or to machine learning, they may face difficulty in adapting to new tools, technologies, or maybe new programming languages that corresponds to machine learning. Okay, so these are the hurdles that you may face. Now, this is where Codersarts will come to help you out. So at Codersarts, we offer very personalized approach to ensure that you get the undivided attention that you need to succeed in this career. So as stated before, we offer live one-on-one sessions. We work on live projects. We have doubt clearing sessions. We provide project support. We offer personalized classes. Even we help with interview preparations as well. So I will be sharing the contact details. So this is our email ID. This is our website link, and this is our customer care number. So I'll be sharing the contact details in the chat box. Okay, I'll be sharing our email ID. This is our email ID and our website link. Okay, so right now we will have a Q&A session. If any one of you have any question, you can post them in the chat box. Does anyone have any question? You can post that in the chat box.
Okay, it seems like that no one is having any questions. And it's fine. It's fine.
So no one has any question?
So basically, which are the coding languages we should know basically? This is your question, Vinay Kumar, right? So for machine learning purpose, it's better that you use like you start with Python or R. So these are the two most popular languages for the purpose of machine learning. But for the purpose of coding, you can focus mainly on Python or Java. Okay, so these two are the languages that you can go for. What is the maximum duration needed to be an ML pro? Okay, so that is that depends from person to person actually. Like if one is very dedicated, then they may achieve that by the end of a year. But it depends on the time that you are and time and effort that a person is giving into learning the concepts of machine learning, and as much as the hands-on experience they have. So I would say around a year or two is the amount of time that you need to be a pro. But to get started with machine learning, like a few months, like 2 months, 3 months, for like beginners to get a grip on machine learning, that much time is enough. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Disha is asking, can we use Java for machine learning?
Yeah, you can use Java as well. Okay, so there is no foundation to use any kind of a language for machine learning, but the only problem is that there should be dedicated libraries as well, like if libraries are available for Java as well. Okay, so but how long, like how often they are being developed or updated, that also remains to be seen. So Java is there, you can use Java, definitely you can use that as well. Python is also there and R is also there. So even MATLAB you can use. Okay, so it's you can use any language that you want to use. Yeah.
Okay, do we have any more questions? You can post them in the chat box. Okay, it seems we don't have any more questions. So I will be providing okay. Okay, so I will be providing a Google form. You have to fill that up. That would be for the certification purpose. So after you fill up that Google form, we shall be providing the certificates you'll most probably get the certificates by tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So please fill up the Google form right now. Okay. Or you can copy this link. Okay, you can fill that up later. We will receive the responses, and you shall receive your certificates by tomorrow, if that's fine by everyone. uh, you can post yeah, you can post your questions in the chat box if you want. Please, once you're done filling up the Google form, you can just send a message that you're done with filling the Google form in the chat box. Once you're done filling up the Google form, please post in the chat box that you're done with filling up the Google form. Just write done. Then we would be able to know that you're done with the. Okay, then. So I believe that everyone is done with filling up the Google form. So that will be it for today from our side. I hope this session was insightful for everyone. As stated, that you'll be receiving your certificates tomorrow by tomorrow. Uh, so if you're interested in learning more, you can message us. You can send us an email at contact@codersarts.com. Okay, and or you can visit our website. That's www.codersarts.com. Or you can call us at our customer care number as well. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. We'll be concluding this webinar here. Thank you.